Other end of the pitch, obviously, the big old 4 in the scoreline is massive, but I actually think the big fat 0 sat at the front of it was as important in terms of, it was Spurs' only second clean sheet in the Premier League since October. It says a lot about how maybe they haven't been getting the rewards for their defending, or maybe they've just been making some kind of daft mistakes here and there. But I just felt to do that at Villa Park against a team that is so kind of good going forward, that has a player like Watkins who, yeah, he had a couple of moments yesterday, like I say, when Romero misjudged the ball and things like that. But I really felt that he kind of cut a bit of a frustrated figure. I don't think I don't think there was any sense from, I saw his interview, I saw Emery's interview, that they felt they should have got anything from it. They kind of felt like the Spurs were the better team. And I just felt like for Watkins, if he got past Romero, Van de Ven was there. And then when Van de Ven went off, Dragoshin was there. Or if he got maybe down the flanks, or Bailey got down the flanks, you had Udogie there, or Porro was there. I just thought all 4 of them. I thought Basuma played quite well as well. That pass, misplaced pass aside, I thought this was another kind of positive game for him in terms of the way he dominated a lot of the exchanges in the midfield. He's kind of quietly being effective, Basuma, without being the kind of mobile, forward-thinking presence he maybe was in the first 10, 11 games or so before he got that red card at Kenilworth Road. It was really interesting just how good, like, Van de Ven was superb. He was just absolutely brilliant. He just mops up so much, doesn't he? I would go on record quite easily, and this is not the biggest leap in the world, but I would say he's one of the best young players in the world. Sorry, one of the best young centre-backs in the world right now. I think he's that good. Postecoglou said, it was either last week or the one before, how much he's improved from when he arrived at the club. He said the amount of developing, understanding and learning he's done just since coming to the club is phenomenal in the last 7-8 months or so. Obviously, he did go down 4 minutes into the second half. It was interesting. Tom Barkley from the Sun, he stayed outside the crazy fall during half time rather than going into the warm. He stayed out in the cold and drizzle. But what he did get from that was he saw that Radu Dragoshin at half time was going through some really intense kind of drills with one of the coaches. I don't know, he didn't tell me which coach it was. It might have just been a sports science staff member, but he was going through these really intense drills, almost like maybe Van de Ven had said he had some kind of little issue or could just feel something. And then when he went down, my initial thought was he didn't look as devastated as we've seen him, certainly that night against Chelsea. It felt more like he'd just got into a challenge to, I think it was to stop Tielemans on the other side. I'm trying to remember who it was. And he just sat down. He kind of came back across and just sat down. And I asked Postecoglou about him afterwards. Oh, actually, my other frustration first before I talk about that. Oh, there was another moment when it was clearly offside. The linesmen are told now, don't put your flag up. Let it play out almost. And that's the second time that Van de Ven has picked up a hamstring problem from a move when he's had to tackle that was completely offside. And I find it so frustrating. I know it is very much a VAR thing. It's to allow that to do its job. But I worry that at some point there's going to be a really horrendous injury. It might be that, player runs through because the flag's not gone up and clatters into the goalkeeper. Maybe like a knee to the head or something just awful. And I just hope it doesn't come to that they think, okay, maybe this isn't a great idea, putting needless kind of extra clashes into this game. I think Guesty was saying that Godfrey at Everton had something that maybe he broke his leg in a similar thing that was clearly offside. So I asked Postecoglou about Van de Ven afterwards. He said, I'm not sure, but he doesn't think it's anything too significant. It's so disappointing for him because he was outstanding again up until that point. It's great for Radu, though, to come in. His first significant game time in a big game, and I thought he handled it really well. And Postecoglou said in his club interview, kind of slightly changed the wording. He said, no news yet, but it doesn't look significant. He obviously felt something, but speaking to him, he doesn't feel that it's anything too serious. Hopefully, he's not out for too long. And as I said at the top of this, the key in this occasion is you had Radu Dragusin to come in. And I thought he was excellent. I thought it was really good. Look, he only had 14 minutes or so against 11 men. And then obviously John McGinn decided to switch his brain off. But so many little bits and pieces impressed me about him. He's not going to be, Van de Ven pace. Van de Ven is the fastest defender the Premier League has ever, or centre-back the Premier League has ever had. Is it? Well, he might even be the fastest player. I can't remember now. But he's certainly just got ridiculous, flash-type pace. So Dragusin is not going to be that kind of fast, but he does have a turn of speed. And I thought he dealt with everything that was kind of put down his side. I thought technically he looked excellent. I thought he dealt with the press really well when Villa tried to press him. He played quick, fast, first-time balls to the likes of Doggy and Basuma really well. And he actually did. It was a tactical foul he did as well at one point, which got him his yellow card just to stop them breaking up the pitch. And hey, all 4 goals came while he was on the pitch as well. He ran up there and got involved in the celebrations. Nice to see kind of how involved he is in everything right now. Matthew Cash again had a victim, and that was Radu Dragusin with a very powerful cross that hit poor Radu in the bad place. The place that no man ever wants to block a cross with, and it was a powerful hit of a cross. It was the first time I've been in a stadium when they played the replay on the 4 screens that Villa have got at Villa Park on each corner of the ground. And I don't think I've ever been in a ground where collectively, I think there's 45, 50,000 people in there, all the men in the crowd went, yeah, like that, ooh, kind of noise. It was just, ouch. Fair play to Radu. He took a moment to collect himself while sat on there holding the affected area. But then he got up and got on with the game. And yes. But yeah, I thought it was really good. I thought it's really important, bearing in mind, you'd imagine that even if Van de Ven feels fine, there's no need to risk him against Fulham. Let Radu Dragusin come in and have a kind of another game to get involved as well. And he looked very comfortable. He looked like he's a Premier League player, and that is a quality of him, and that is why, yes, it will have been frustrating for him to have come from being a regular starter at Genoa, playing week in, week out, getting loads of praise in Serie A, and then coming to Spurs and being very much a backup right now to Romero and Van de Ven. But if he goes in there and plays like that and makes himself undroppable, maybe Van de Ven struggles to get back in. Maybe Romero finds his place in doubt. And that's the beauty of competition. And next season, fingers crossed, maybe European football. And I very much hope European football. And there's going to be a lot of matches. He will play a lot of games. And again, just 22. Him and Van de Ven, both 22. And they've got Romero, what is he, 25, leading them. They're so exciting what the future of Spurs centre-backs looks like.